ex and I were in a bitter custody battle for our son. In my first life, when the judge asked our son, he stayed silent, but I heard his thoughts. I just want to be with mom. I fought and won custody. Soon after, I was reported for abuse. My son told the police, crying, I want to live with dad, but mommy hits me. His body was covered in marks. Mark, my ex, screamed at me. I heard his thoughts in court. He wanted to be with me. Are you even human? I couldn't defend myself. I spent the rest of my life in a psychiatric hospital. In my second life, I gave custody to Mark, even though I heard my son's thoughts again. Years later, on Mark's deathbed, he whispered, it was our son. He poisoned me. He said he just wanted to live with you. He hated me for taking him from you. Now, a third time, I'm facing my young son again. Mark and I exchange a lost look. This little hot potato, who does he really want? I wish I could live with mom. I don't want to leave her. The familiar words echoed in my mind. I shuddered. This was the third time I'd heard them. I looked into my son's hopeful eyes, but the words I wanted to say were caught in my throat. The judge asked my son, Leo, again for his preference. Leo bit his lip, refusing to speak. Then I heard his thoughts again. Dad will get mad if I say it, right? I wish mom would just choose me. It was exactly like the first time. Leo wouldn't say a word, but I could hear his inner voice perfectly. In my first life, even though my financial situation was worse than Mark's, I had promised I would never remarry or have other children. The judge was moved and granted me custody. To make up for his absent father, I poured every ounce of my time and energy into Leo. I gave him the best of everything, but all my devotion earned me was an accusation of child abuse and my son's heart-wrenching screams. I hate mommy. I wanted to live with dad from the start, but she wouldn't let me. The memory of my first life was still seared into my mind. I wasn't going through that again. I pretended not to see his pleading eyes and turned my head away. The judge sighed. In that case, the court will decide based on which parent can provide a more stable and— No! Mark's voice boomed through the courtroom. I object. The judge frowned, annoyed. Mark struggled to compose himself. I request a recess. We need to discuss this privately. The judge agreed. 10-minute recess. Mark dragged me into a side room and got straight to the point. You've been reborn too, haven't you? When I nodded, Mark cursed under his breath. Last time his thoughts told me he wanted to live with me. He said you were mean to him. That's why I fought so hard to get custody. I nodded slowly. What I heard was the exact opposite. Mark stared at me, his expression a mixture of confusion and dread. Maybe you should take him, Mark said, his voice strained. In my last life, he wanted to be with you. He even poisoned me with a slow-acting toxin to make it happen. Remembering my own tragic end, a shiver ran down my spine. No, thank you. I have no desire to end up back in a psychiatric hospital. Mark looked completely bewildered. What happened to our son? Who does he actually want to be with? I had no answer. He was only 10. How could he harbor such deep-seated malice toward us overnight? Our time was up. We had to return to the courtroom. When the judge asked if we had reached a decision, we both shook our heads. The judge adjusted his glasses, his displeasure obvious. Let me be clear. Even if you divorce, a minor under the age of 18 requires a legal guardian. This is a parent's legal obligation. Anything else is considered abandonment. You must make a choice. Who will be the primary caregiver? In that instant, a child's voice flooded my mind again. Mommy, I choose you. I want to be with mommy. I shot a look at Mark. Our eyes met. From his expression, I knew. He had just heard our son's voice saying he wanted to be with him. We both turned to look at Leo and spoke in unison. Leo, who do you choose? Mom or dad? Leo froze, clearly not expecting us to confront him so directly. He looked lost. I softened my tone as much as I could. Leo, you have to choose one of us. We won't be angry, no matter who you pick. Mark chimed in. That's right. Just say what's on your mind. Under our intense gaze, Leo's face turned bright red. His lip trembled, and then he burst into tears. I don't want to choose. I want our family to stay together forever. His outburst